Okay, so today what we're going to talk about is how to really start focusing on a neighborhood, and how to kind of really get a sense of that neighborhood from a bunch of different perspectives, which will help you become kind of an expert in that neighborhood, which helps you talk effectively to people. You take that information, you use it to do outreach to kind of get in front of as many people as you can, and you take your career from there. So, there are basically four steps. Sorry, I put three steps here. The first is to learn the market, right? And so we need some knowledge before we can do anything. After you know the market, you want to start lead generating there, following up and converting. Again, this was three steps. I turned it into four, but it's really all about feeling comfortable and knowledgeable about what you're going to talk about and what you're going to disseminate to people in that neighborhood. So the first thing is that you need to learn a market, right? And the easiest thing to do is pick one town, pick one neighborhood, right? And just hyper focus on it. Because when you can do this for one neighborhood, you can do it for any neighborhood. And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to build up as much insight as you possibly can about that neighborhood. So again, we can do this together, right? Let's say we're going to look on OLR, StreetEasy, Urban Digs, and again, if you haven't used Urban Digs, it's one of the most powerful tools that we have. You get a free 2-week trial, and then I can sign you up for a paid subscription. It's amazing data. And what you want to do is you want to start to get to know that market in that hyper specific place. So let's kind of go through this, right? Let's talk about Soho, where the office is right now, right? And so if I log into OLR, which you guys should all have access to, again, OLR tends to be best for Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, a little bit the Bronx, a little bit Staten Island. You can use StreetEasy, you can use all of them. And so we want to start to get to know the neighborhood, right? And so built into OLR are neighborhoods that you can plug in here, right? So if you see this, you can basically get, and if you click here on neighborhood, I'm going to change this to Soho. You can pick a neighborhood. And what this does is this pulls in data from OLR on that neighborhood. So I'm going to refresh the page. Right, so here we go. So Soho's here. And what does it give me? It gives me new listings. So these are rentals that came on the market. These are things that have had their price changed. Right, Broome Street, Sullivan Street went down in rent. New developments, what is happening in the neighborhood, right? So these are the newer developments that went up. 150 Worcester down the block from the office, 565 Broome, a new construction condo, 62 Worcester, conversion, stuff like that. So I can get to know these new developments, right? So, I think it's important that when you're walking down the street with a client or when you're talking to someone, you can point out buildings, right? I can walk in Soho, and again, part of this is from experience that I've had. And we can basically walk down the block and I can say, this is a co-op, this is a condo, this is a rental building, right? This one just sold for X dollars. These are things that you should be able to start getting a sense of, right? 110 Charlton, right? I've toured that building with multiple clients before. And sometimes it's just getting a sense of the buildings by going to the sales gallery, by looking online, right? Again, you can get so much information without actually visiting in person. Okay, you should be able to click there, but if not, you can look up the property as well, right? Market pulse. So what are we going to get? We're going to get a sense of what do studios, alcove studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms go for on a per square foot basis, right? What open houses are happening this weekend? Again, in the past, we'd say go to these open houses, 549 West Broadway, 10-unit building that's really close to here. Crosby Street, all these things. What has sold recently, right? There you go. You've got a couple sales. So there have been some, 12 Green Street, you have had some sales. So, it's a great way to just start getting a sense of what's out there, and to really be able to tell what's on the market, right? And again, you can customize this if you go to select neighborhood. Let's say we wanted to do, let's say Queens, we want to do Astoria. Here, do that. And we can just start getting a sense of what's out there, right? The other thing you can do is you can just do searches, right? So if I want to find out what is on the market in Soho for sale, what I can do is I can just click on Soho. I can do $1 to $10 million and just do a search, right? That's all I'm putting in. how many places do you think are on the market, right? Well, right now there's 170, and if you think about it, Soho is a fairly contained area, so 170 is actually a lot of units for Soho at any given time. And again, the most expensive, and I just did up to 10 million, but you've got a penthouse here on West Broadway for 10 million. If I reverse that, let's see what the most, it's probably I would say a studio. No, this is a storage space on Mercer Street for sale. This is the Dominic Hotel. It's a full service building. You can only use it for a couple days a month. 110 Thompson. These are actual studios and stuff like that. 246 Spring Street, the Dominic, former Trump Hotel. So again, you can get a sense of what's out there, right? And see what you think, right? What's the cheapest one bedroom? Here you go, 105 Thompson, walk up, one bedroom for $700,000. Pied-à-terres, co-purchasing, gifting are permitted. Pet friendly, investors good. Hey, look, this looks like a nice unit, right? So if you got someone who's looking for investment downtown, maybe this is a great unit for them. So again, that's step one. Again, OLR is a place you can do it. We can go onto StreetEasy. We can do the exact same search. We can get details. And now Urban Digs. Urban Digs, again, is a website that we have access to. They do our marketing report. What we can do is we can kind of go and we can start generating data, right? If we want to see what's happening in Soho, and we can say, do we want pre-war, post-war, new development, resale? Do we want condos, co-ops, townhouses? Apply filters. Here we go. So there are fewer contracts. Let's do the month view. So look, the supply for everything in Soho is this is wrong. This again. Let's do everything. You can pick just one. Let's do co-ops. I think there's something off here. I'll get this fixed. But you can get a sense of what's going on with the market just by searching in here, right? What happened this week? What's happening in Tribeca? 187 things for sale. That means there's less than last week. Contract signed, off market is up. What is it? It's a buyer's market in Soho. But if we change the neighborhood, let's do Brooklyn and let's do Williamsburg. Still buyer's market, right? 187, 185 contracts signed. It's down from the week before. We can check the month, 1,832 contracts signed. Condos. Again, you can play around with this. These numbers look a little off, but you can decide which borough you want. You want to look at resales, new developments, market wide, supply. Let's see how many things are on in Soho. And look, it makes this chart for you, and you can see what's happening with supply, right? So we had a drop in supply of things in Soho on the market, and we're creeping back up, right? We had 145, we dropped to 65, and then boom, we started shooting up again. So again, this helps you get a sense of the neighborhood, right? What's the average price per square foot? What else do you need to know, right? Who are the biggest players? Who's selling a lot of things, right? If you know that there's a new development coming in, get to know it and things like that. What is the average price per square foot for condos, for co-ops, for a single family home? Again, you need to be able to talk to people about what is happening in the neighborhood and what is going on. And again, part of that is also reading different blogs, reading The Real Deal, YIMB, Yes in My Backyard. It's a blog. It talks about new developments. It talks about permits that were filed and things like that. And really, it's all about kind of diving deep, right? We need to be, both horizontal in terms of covering everywhere, but we need to be vertical and be able to go up and down within a neighborhood to really get a sense of it. So, what else can you do, right? So depending on what you're focusing on, who you're targeting, right? Maybe it's about doing some research into the open listing landlords in the area, right? Things that you can advertise on RentHop, on Craigslist, on some of these third-party sites. Again, it's a very, very simple process, right? The easiest way to do it, again, you can do it through a bunch of different ways. Let's say we want to know who the open listing landlords are in Soho, and I can tell you there's probably not a lot of them. Again, we'll go to rentals. We'll pick Soho. Let's do a general price point. We're going to do open listings only and run search. I can tell it's probably going to be Manhattan Skyline, 9300, 261 Hudson's related. This is Manhattan Skyline. This is the one across the street from the building. They've got a couple related. 5 King, Eisenberg. These are actually nice units as well. So there's a couple on here. And again, some of them are paying an OP, right? $2,800 studio with an OP. That's great, 5th floor walk up, but still. So again, you can start getting a sense of who has stuff on the market, and you can do the same thing. Again, if you just want to get a sense of who owns things, instead of active, you just go to off market. You can click all of them and then show listings from 360 days. This will give you a broader range and a broader view of what's on the market or what has been on the market. So you can get a little bit more data from that. Let's see if there's anything else that came up. Seems like these are all the same, mostly the same management company. Again, there's not too many of these open. 199 Bleecker Street LLC. So they had one. Sullivan Street Muse. You know, these are a couple hundred units. Manhattan Skyline's got a couple buildings as well. So again, whatever neighborhood you're picking, again, this helps you to figure out who to target, who to start kind of looking at stuff for. So I'm going to go back. Okay, so you've got all this knowledge, right? And again, spend some time getting to know a neighborhood. You know, some things are what are the cheapest 1-bedroom for sale, 2-bedroom for sale, you know, rental with outdoor space, whatever it is, because you need to have information that you can disseminate, right? So learn the market, get to know things that are out there. That's step 1. So step 2 is to lead generate in that neighborhood, right? This is where you want to start getting your name out there to the different people who live in that neighborhood through the different ways that we can kind of start focusing on that neighborhood, right? And again, why do I say focus on one neighborhood? If you can do it in one neighborhood, you can do it in any neighborhood. So it's really a great way to get started. So use any of these tools that you have to start generating business, right? So as newer agents, as people who are looking for leads, you know, the easiest one I think is what I would call digital farming, right? That's where you go into Cole Realty, you export names and email addresses of people, you pull them into your KV Core platform, and then you send targeted emails, right? And what are these emails? Hey, you know, market's great for buyers. Have you thought about buying? And 2 weeks later, cheapest 1-bedroom with outdoor space in this neighborhood, right? And you build on these. And one of our agents, she did an amazing job at this. She picked her neighborhood that she lived in, the East Village, and she started sending these, right? She sent, hey, love to help you out, whatever's going on, let me know. Hey, here's a cheap 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom with outdoor space. Have you thought about buying? You know, never been a better time with renters, right? As a renter to buy. And she continued, right? And it wasn't the first email or the second email that she sent, but it was the third and the fourth and the fifth email that started getting responses, right? And it was help. And she now is in contract with one. She's got another listing on another one. It's a great way to start to build your database. And again, in order to do that, she had to know the neighborhood and she had to be able to give them items of value. The other way you can do it is by kind of, again, focusing on the rental side of it and focusing on RentHop and Craigslist to start building up some leads. So again, finding these open listing rentals that have the OP that we can post on RentHop and just start posting a couple of them, right? Take some pictures, figure out how you have access and stuff like that. You can go about it from a bunch of different ways as well, right? You can do your sphere of influence and you can kind of lead generate within a neighborhood on Facebook, Instagram, you know, to people that you know if you want to. You can do this for Weichert.com leads that you have, you know, past clients for those of you who've been in the business for a little bit, expired listings, right? You can just say, I just want to go after expired listings in Soho. Well, in order to do that, you need to know the neighborhood, right? Or for sale by owners, or again, anyone in your database. You can do a property boost, right? And boost a property that someone in the office has. You can do a seller evaluation page. Hey, Soho, do you know what your property's worth, right? And you can do that through My Weichert. You can also do print campaigns. Again, if you want to do postcards, you can do it. Or Property Shark calls to owners and things like that. Again, if they have it on the market, you can call them. But focus on one or two things. And again, for me, the two easiest are the digital farm and the RentHop, right? The two different ways of going about it. If I were to be focusing on it, I'd be focusing on those two. And again, focus on that neighborhood. So post rent hop ads for Soho, right? Pull all the people who live in Soho and start a campaign of going after them with information that you have. And again, Annabelle is here to help you create the campaign, to help you create the mass email and things like that that you can send out to people. But it's super simple, right? It's super simple and it's effective. The biggest thing is that you have to do it systematically, right? When we lead generate, a lot of times we do one thing, we forget about it, and then we get frustrated because, oh, I sent out 5,000 emails, I didn't get any response. Well, it takes multiple attempts at the response, right? Usually we say that it's 8 to 10 touches that you have with a marketing campaign, with farming, for people to start to recognize your name and start to actually respond to it. So it's not a one and done thing, right? This is a building thing. And again, that's why RentHop can help. It can help you create some money a little bit faster. So once you get the leads, right? And again, the idea is that we get them to click on our website, to kind of interact with us. Hey, I actually was thinking about buying. Great, right? So what you need to do is you need to follow up with these people. My Wykert is really great because it validates the leads that come in from the website. It allows you to share the listing and the marketing through text, email, chat, social media, however you want to do it. They have pre-built campaigns, which I don't love, but if you don't have time to make a campaign, just go for it. You can also make a custom campaign. And again, Annabelle is there to help you. I really want you guys to take advantage of her. She's a wealth of knowledge and she's been extremely helpful in getting people up and going with these systems. The other thing is that we can attend one of the company-wide call sessions for help with how to follow up with these leads, right? The conversations to have, the dialogues. Again, we have one today at 4 o'clock, tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And again, for anyone who hasn't done one and who is on the Lead Network, it's really a great way to get some people to work with, especially at the beginning of your career. If you do the Wednesday night one, it's really hands-on training by some of the regional vice presidents. And so they will help you make the calls, right? They will help you work on your dialogue, really follow up with them and get it going. Again, you can come to the one today or the one on Thursday as well at 10:30. Again, the ones that I do, I will match. If you get a lead that you're working with, I will get you a lead. I will keep calling until I find a lead for you. So it's a great way to make your efforts on these call sessions worth basically double. So again, you need to build the relationship with these people because again, a lot of them, they might have responded from one thing, another thing, right? And how do we do that? Well, we work on our consultations and being extremely transparent and upfront with people from the beginning of what we do, what our service is to them. And this helps us build the relationship. So the rental consultation, which again, I've gone through on one of these trainings before, the buyer consultation, which again, we'll be working on later tomorrow, actually. The listing presentation, which will be for another week, and are all under one roof, right? We have everything you can need. We have mortgage specialists, we have insurance, we have relationships with attorneys, with contractors, with whoever they need, movers. We have all that. And again, letting them know that, the biggest thing is that in this market, renters, they're not paying us a fee 99% of the time. Buyers, they don't pay us a fee. We're paid by the seller closing 99% of the time. So make sure that they know that, right? And these consultations, right? These ones which can be done over the phone, over Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, whatever it is, in person at a coffee shop or outside potentially, they build the relationship and they turn you from someone who's just there to open the door to someone who's an asset for them. And again, that the whole point of this is to build the relationship because you need to start somewhere, and that's why you have to prospect. That's why you need to know about the neighborhood so you can actually effectively talk about the neighborhood and you can talk about what's on the market, what's going on. And then you need to build the relationship with them. So again, during these call sessions or for any of these leads, they're great scripts to use. I always say use these until you can convert to deals. And after that, you can definitely change them around. Again, on the call sessions, hi, it's Jason from Wykert Properties. The reason I'm calling is you made a real estate inquiry on our website, just checking to see if you're still in the market to buy a home. If they say, oh no, we stopped looking, I say, great, it's a good thing you didn't buy. Or if they say, oh, that was a year ago. Oh, great, I'm so glad you didn't buy because you can get a better deal right now at a lower interest rate. And you can continue the conversation. You don't say, okay, thanks, bye, boom, get off the phone. So again, it's all about building a relationship, being an asset to these people, right? That's what we're there for. We're there as a trusted advisor. We're there to help save them time and money. So again, the next step, excuse me, is the action plan, right? So think about it. Who do you want to target? And again, in these emails, you're basically targeting everyone because you want to tell them, hey, I can do anything. I can do rental, sales, new developments, whatever it is, investors. And maybe you get someone that you don't want to work with, right? I don't want to work with renters. Well, great. You can refer it out to someone else, right? Don't just let me know, hey, I got someone, their renter. Who should I give it to? Boom, we'll give it to someone. Think of how you're targeting, right? What are you sharing with them? And for me, the most important things that you can share with this neighborhood that you're targeting is how great the market is, either as a renter or a buyer, what some great options are with outdoor space, and what maybe the cheapest X, Y, or Z, right? 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom is, right? Hey, there's a great 3 bedroom on the market. Don't send them all the information, just pique their interest. Have you thought about buying? You could totally save some money by what you're paying now in rent. The other things you have to think of are kind of more about you, right? How much time are you devoting every day to this, right? To real estate, to building your network, to building knowledge. Some of you have another job and stuff like that. Totally fine, right? That means that, on your breaks, in your extra time, you can be really focusing on, an hour a day or so of just reading about the market and getting to know it. And after a week, you should be a market expert. And then you can start focusing that hour on something else like, prospecting, building your database of open listing landlords or things like that. So then by the end of the week, you can post something on RentHop, you can post something on, on Facebook, on and targeting people like that. So the other thing is think about how you're tracking yourself, right? I really say the most important thing you can do, especially in your first couple years of real estate, is keep a half hour by half hour schedule of what you did, right? Keep a running tally in a Google sheet or something like that. What did I do, right? I worked from 5 to 6, and I was able to do this. I worked from 7 to 8, and I was able to do this, right? I called X people. I sent X emails, right? Because then you can track it, right? At the end of the month, we can say, okay, Harvey, what did you do this month? Well, I did, I worked with a couple people. Well, tell me about those people that you worked with, right? How many were there? Do you have a list of them? How many hours did you spend on each of them, right? What was the return on you doing the mass emails, right? Well, I sent out 10,000 emails and I got 4 responses. Okay, and are you taking those people out? Well, 1 of them. So that means for you, for the market area you're working in, it takes 10,000 emails to get 1 viable client. How many clients do you want this year? Well, I want 12. Well, how many emails do you have to send? Well, that's a lot of emails. So again, think of it that way. And again, it's a lot of it is about follow-up. So again, you also need to have goals, right? And my goal for you as a new agent is that, or again, as someone who's kind of working to build their business, is that you need to have about 5 appointments per week, right? You need to be talking to someone who's not an active client, right? This doesn't mean that, oh, I'm showing Sally 5 apartments. No, that's not, right? When Sally's a client of yours, she doesn't count towards these 5 people, right? This is meeting 5 people who aren't an active client. And again, that doesn't mean that they're going to be buying from you. It doesn't mean that they're going to be necessarily working with you from the get-go. But what they're doing is it's building your database, right? It's building the number of people who are in your MyWhiteCurt system, in your CRM, that you can follow up with, that you can prospect with. What the system has made it a lot more easy to do is keep track of everyone that you've met, right? So maybe you had an open house, right? And 10 people came, or 10 people came over the course of the listing before you rented it. Well, those people can be in your database as prospective buyers in the future, right? And you can start putting them onto all the campaigns that you have for potential buyers. You never know when they're going to buy, right? And making sure they know that you can help them buy something is a great thing to do. Again, are you going to focus on buyer renter appointments, seller landlord appointments? Perfect the buyer consultation, perfect, the listing presentation. Use these tools to really help you. And that should be part of the time. And again, we do these workshops. Everyone should know that I record a lot of these trainings and they're all on the YouTube channel. So again, go back and watch them, right? Perfect yourself and work for yourself on the buyer consultation, especially from the beginning. Again, a lot of the leads that we get are for buyer leads, and those tend to be the easiest in this market to work with. The other thing, and one of the things I really would like you guys to do is find an accountability partner, right? It can be someone in this group right now who you can kind of bounce ideas back and forth with, right? Someone that you can talk to every other day for 5 minutes, right? Just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, or even just text if that's easier, saying, what did you do today? What are you doing tomorrow, right? And by having that check-in, I can help you guys with that as well. But You know, I try to do that on a weekly, on a, you know, on a monthly basis with our one-on-ones and things like that. But some of that you can bounce ideas back and forth and say, hey, Jason, what are you doing tomorrow for real estate? And then at the end of the day, you say, did you do that? And the more, you know, if you get a sense of they're not doing it, they're not doing it, they're not doing it, well, then usually you either start to feel guilty or you say, you know what, real estate's not for me. But it's just a way that we can make sure that we've got someone to talk to, right? Hey, I tried this and it worked, or hey, I tried this and it didn't work. What have you been doing? You know, you can kind of really bounce ideas off each other and go from there. And again, you know, everyone should be on the website. If you're not on the website, you know, feel free to write into the chat box your name, you know, your phone number and where you want to focus on. So again, maybe if we've got two people who want to focus on Long Island, they can do it together. On Queens, they can do it together. Midtown, wherever it is. So so yeah, so that's basically it. Again, it's a pretty, I'm gonna change this to 4 steps. It's pretty simple, right? Learn the market, focus your lead generation there, follow up, convert. That's it. So I'm going to stop the video. Thank you guys. Stop share, stop the video.